Hi, and welcome back to the Fit for Any Battle podcast. This podcast is coming to you right after chemo session number 2. It was really interesting to me. When I go to chemo, I bring a big container that I fill with ice water. It has a tube that runs to a cap that goes over my head to help cool my head, to protect it from chemo just totally thrashing my hair. I also wear gloves and boots that have ice packs in them that keep my hands and my feet cold, because the chemotherapy creates a neuropathy in the feet and hands. And by cooling them during the chemotherapy treatment, we reduce the chances of neuropathy. And yet, wherever I look in the location where everybody is getting an infusion, I'm the only one doing this stuff. My recommendation to you: don't worry about what other people do. Focus on what you do. Make sure that you get boots and gloves that cool your hands. Make sure you try no matter what. Even though my hair is falling out, it's not falling out as bad as it was. You can tell I still have a beard. It looks pretty weak. About half of it's gone. I would say, based on the amount of hair that I have lost, I've been tracking it every day in bags. The amount of hair I have lost, I probably lost half my hair. My ponytail is really tiny now when I put it behind, but I still have hair on my head. I still have a beard for now. And I have to say that the cold capping seems to be helping reduce the chances of it just completely going away. So the most important things for you to note: bring stuff to chemotherapy. I bring a bottle of water with some sort of flavoring in it, and I drink it while I'm there. I also bring Plenty Shake to the chemotherapy treatments, because when they give us the steroid as part of our chemotherapy pre-treatment, we will get acid reflux if that steroid is not given with food, and they don't give it to you with food. So you have to bring your own, and I usually just bring a Plenty Shake and drink that because it's really mild on the system. And then I sit back and I wait for an hour. In fact, here's a picture of me just chilling out. I'm having chemotherapy. As you can tell, I'm doing great. All right, up next, we are going to be talking about teeth pain. Ooh, fun stuff. All right, see you soon. The sponsor for today's Fit for Any Battle podcast is Feelalytics. With Feelalytics, I can generate different versions of video content, have a select group of people review it, and give me real-time feedback on which parts of it work and which don't, to determine which content to publish for my podcast. With Feelalytics, it saves me tons of time on production and other costs, because I know which content works for which people. So, go today to Feelalytics.com and check it out. As I said, I am 2 days past chemotherapy number 2, 33% of the way done. We only have 4 more to go, and I'm feeling great. I went on a bike ride. It was 3 hours after treatment, because I got treatment. I was done with treatment a little earlier in the day. I got a bike ride 3 hours later. And then the next night, which was last night, went on a massive bike ride in 42-degree weather, which also helped keep my fingers and my toes cold. I was wearing gloves, and of course I was wearing shoes, but my fingers and toes were cold, so that helps with the neuropathy anyway. Now, let's talk about the thing that I've noticed for each chemotherapy treatment. About 2 days in, my teeth feel weird. I don't know. They feel a little sensitive. They feel a little thin, even though nothing's happened to them. It's just this sensation that I'm having with the chemotherapy drug. Now, one of the things that I did that I was not recommended to me, but I realized that I probably should do this, is prior to treatment, I went into the dentist and had them take x-rays and pictures of my teeth. That way we know how that bone structure and teeth structure were prior to treatment. So after treatment, we can see how much degradation, if any, there was in my teeth. Because when we're trying to save our lives with chemotherapy, we're not worried about, are we going to get to keep that molar, or is that bicuspid doing okay? However, after treatment, we're sure going to be worried about them. So make sure that you go to your dentist, get x-rays, get pictures taken, and then as you go through treatment, they'll keep looking and watching and making sure that everything is okay. This goes back to some of the other things that are just these little minor things that we need to consider. We need to consider how our skin is, because our skin may be sensitive during chemotherapy treatment. I don't have that situation, but it's one thing that they're really worried about. So for the first chemotherapy session and until I had the second one, I didn't do any hot sauna and I didn't do any cold plunge because they said to wait on those to see if my skin would react. Now that I'm past chemotherapy number 2, I'm going to jump in the sauna. I'm going to jump in the cold plunge. I'm going to hit the hot tub and do cold hot therapy. That's called the contrast tub therapy. And next week, I'm going to report how it goes because the exercising that I'm doing makes me feel really good. I feel like there's this wave that's about to crash, this feeling of yuck, but it continues to stay offshore because every time it's coming in, I go work out. I go hit the bike. I do something to get my cardiovascular system supercharged, because as long as my cardiovascular system is going and I'm burning calories and I'm doing a lot of cardio, it ends up that the wave never crashes. I could tell that if I just went home after chemotherapy treatment and laid on the couch, the wave would probably reach shore and crash on me. So for those of you that are about to have another chemotherapy treatment or even your first, make sure you have something to do afterwards. Drink a ton of water. The night that after I had the chemotherapy treatment, I probably drank 128 ounces of water. I peed a ton, but the idea is we have to get this stuff through our system. We don't want to just let it sit there and percolate. And the only way to evacuate things out of our system is by peeing. So make sure you drink a ton of water, make sure you use the restroom a bunch, get that cardio, and then get some rest. And you're going to feel great. I truly believe it. We have an opportunity to be positive through this. We have to let the negative feelings go away, focus on the end result, and let's get through this. Anyway, coming up next, we're going to talk a bit more about hair loss and what you can do about it. The sponsor for today's Fit for Any Battle podcast is Update Everyone. Going through cancer treatment has been really tough. Keeping everybody in my support group updated has all of its own challenges. With Update Everyone, they assign me a telephone number, and I send a simple text message to that phone number with an update on how things are going. They then send it to every single person in my support group without me having to do a thing. No more Twitter messages, no more Instagram messages, no more Facebook messages, no more Facebook posts, not even a simple SMS to every single person on my support group. So with Update Everyone, I send one message and I get back to healing. You can too. Go to updateeveryone.com. So let's talk about the hair loss that comes with, in this case, Taxotere, but many chemotherapy drugs offer the beautiful side effect of losing one's hair. In previous episodes, you've noticed that I would pull on my beard and a bunch of hair would come out. That's not happening anymore. It has slowed down as of about 2 days ago. So that's 3 weeks after treatment. The hair loss slowed down, and I'm getting just small bits of hair loss in my beard, a smaller amount of hair loss each day on my head. And I have to think that the things that I'm doing are helping. Let me talk about those things. The first thing is I am cold capping, as I mentioned previously, when I'm in chemotherapy. The second thing that I'm doing is when I'm home, I don't do a lot to pull on my hair. I do a mild brush on my hair each morning, and then I try to leave it throughout the day without messing with it. It seems as though our hair follicles are just holding on to the hair. It's not really growing the hair much anymore. And so if we can let that hair follicle just hold on to the hair a bit longer, we're going to let our hair stay with us a little bit longer, and we won't be having to shave things off. As you'll notice, my beard, it's looking a little scraggly. However, it's still there. It's still shaped. Even though I'm not growing any new hair around it, I'm able to maintain at least some of the look that I had. Normally, I put my hair up in a ponytail. And if you notice, when I put it up in a ponytail, looks like I still have hair. I just have to brush it in a particular way to get that going. Now, there are a few things that I recommend when we're talking about keeping our hair. The first is our diet. We have to have a really good, clean diet. And that means vegetables, healthy foods, not a lot of greasy fast food. Things of that nature are just going to trash our body. And if they're trashing our body's not going to be able to continue to process as much stuff as it has. We have to leave our body as light as possible. And that's where healthy food comes in. The other thing I did about 7 years ago is I gave up alcohol. For some people that are drinking right up to Taxotere's chemotherapy treatments, Taxotere and alcohol don't mix. That's the chemotherapy I'm on for prostate cancer. A lot of women have the same chemotherapy for breast cancer. Stop drinking now. At least be off alcohol for 30 days before you start chemotherapy treatment. It is not going to do well for you. The other thing is I gave up sugar. Cancers oftentimes feed off of sugar, and we have a lot of processed sugar in the US. If you think about your diet and you look at the ingredients in the things that you eat, if there are more than 3 grams of sugar in that serving, I'd probably stay away from it. That's my judgment call. 3 grams or less, I'm in it. I'll look at some things and there'll be 11, 17, 24 grams of sugar. And those are just normal things that we would have picked up. I've been off sugar now for 5 months, I believe, 5 or 6 months. It's been a while. And it took a little bit to get off of it. However, my body is not feeding off of sugar anymore. It's feeding off of the good calories that I'm putting in. I'm not telling everybody to cut alcohol, cut sugar, and of course, back in 2004, I gave up caffeine. I mean, eventually I'm just going to be down to fruits and vegetables and some nuts and water, and that's about it. However, I'm feeling great. You need to understand that by drinking a lot of water, by having the right diet, by exercising, we can push through the yuck of chemotherapy. Now, I'm not saying that every chemotherapy treatment is going to feel great. So far, 2 out of 2. That's a good record. 1 was a data point of 1. We can't really create a chart off of it. But 2, that means I'm tracking in the right way. Because the week prior to chemotherapy, I felt fantastic. If you would have told me that I had nothing going on and I did not have any cancer or chemotherapy going on, I would have believed you. Now I got the teeth pain again, the sensitivity. I feel the wave offshore. I can kind of feel that there's this impending wave, but I'm going to push through. I'm going to work out. Tonight is a shoulder workout. So I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to bang out some cardio. I'm going to do a shoulder workout. And then I'm going to take tomorrow off. And Sunday starts chest all over again. That Fit for Any Battle workout, it tracks every day of the week what we should be doing. And we should give ourselves a day off, a day of rest, but we should be working out almost 6 days a week. I know I am, and it's helping a lot. Anyway, stay tuned for next week. We'll see if I lose some more hair. We'll see what other side effects come up, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks so much for watching.